And we're live.
And we're
Welcome, everybody, to the Dead Bitches Brunch. We are back. The evil trinity has returned. We are your hosts. My name is Lindsay B. I have Leah Pettibone with us, Moon Doggy, and we are super stoked to be here with everybody tonight. And we also have a very amazing guest with us tonight. As you guys have been following us on social media, Lolli Rotten is going to be with us here tonight. So it is going to be a fucking amazing time. But before we get into that, we did want to address one thing that is on the forefront of anybody's mind who has a uterus of what went down on Friday. And we just want to say that we understand if you're scared, if you're mangry, we are too. And we're here for you if you need somebody to reach out to you. If we need to work on getting you connected with the people you need to be connected with. And I just want to say to every single person out there with a uterus, remember that we are bitches and we are witches and we will fight this. We will educate ourselves and we will learn how this battle was won before, and we will stand up and we will win it again so nobody else has to face these fears. Vote in your county elections, vote in your city elections, vote in your state elections, and let's stand up for what is right. So we said that. We said that, and now we are going to bring on one of the wickedest artists in the underground, somebody that I am so stoked that if you are not familiar with, or maybe if you are, so that you can get to know them better here tonight. So without further ado, Lolli Rotten, folks. Familiar with, or maybe if you are, so that you can. Hello.
Ew.
Oh my goodness. I think I can safely speak for the group in saying we are collectively obsessed and so honored, and just thank you so much for wanting to kick it here with us.
Thank you for having me. This is the first time I've ever been in any kind of interview, so this is really cool.
Well, I think it's so sad that this is the first one, but I am also very honored that we're your first one, and I hope that we have a great time tonight, and you'll be wanting to come back to kick it with us here again, because I just know you're so talented. You have so much work and stuff coming down the pipeline as well. You're such a multifaceted performer. There's a expression, I guess you could say, in showbiz, that feels weird saying showbiz, but of somebody being a triple threat. Like, this person can sing, they can dance, they can act, you can do so much more than that. You're like so insane. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Camp School, it is a 3-day music festival event that just happened recently in Williamsburg, Ohio. And Lolli, I don't understand how amazingly wicked you would look at like 11 in the morning, and you would look still just as perfect at 2 in the morning. Meanwhile, I'm like lost an eyelash, lost an eyebrow at that point. Like, there might be a tit going in one direction, and then you're just like perfect.
It's accurate
the whole time. And I'm not exaggerating this, folks. Everybody will back me up on this.
Let's not forget, like, more than one look a day too, like several looks. Like, every time I see you, it's like something different, and it's like so fucking astonishing and intricate, but completely different than like a couple hours ago.
And it's not basic looks. Like, what you see right now is what Lolli does on like the daily at Camp Zool. Like, this is the norm, and it's very intricate.
Mm-hmm.
It's the norm mostly every day, which is it's real fun in the Bible Belt, going to the grocery store. Because toned down me is still pretty extreme to most people out here. So, but yeah, I'd say it's a lot of super glue and duct tape and a whole lot of setting spray.
Hell yeah.
We make a whole new face with makeup, and I think that's why it lasts so long, because I wear so much of it, you know.
Layers, people, layers.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, one of the things that I know that really inspires you with makeup isn't just the cosplay aspect of it as well, but it's also the art of drag. And
Yeah.
drag is something that you've also expressed on your platforms as being a performer in that scene. So tell us a little bit how you discovered that art form and what made you decide not only am I a fan of this, but I want to do this too.
Right. So, I actually started seeing drag shows with my mom. Growing up, I think the first one I went to, I was like freshly 21 because I had to be to get into the club. And we were working together in a cash office at Georgia Tech. And most of the people that worked with us were gay men that did drag. And so they started throwing drag shows locally. And my mom was like, "Do you want to go see one?" And I was like, "Yes." And I did. And it was my first time ever seeing it. And it was just like, they were superheroes to me, you know? I was so amazed that these people could put on these like layers of things, its body, its face, its fake boobs, it's all of this stuff, and then still be doing cartwheels and splits and like moving around like it's nothing. Also in 5-inch heels, like that, it blew my mind. So ever since I saw it, I was like, I need to know more about this. And so I just kept diving deeper and diving deeper. And then several years ago, I saw a show called Dragula, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but it's a horror-based drag competition.
Mm-hmm.
And horror has been my thing since I was a child. And then I found drag, and then when I saw Dragula, it was a mix of the two. I was like, oh, this is where I fit. This is my niche. So once I found that, I started following lots of other drag artists, and I was like, I want to do this. I think I can, and I want to. So that's what got my foot in the door. It's just, like I said, drag queens, drag performers, they're my superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
100%. When I found Dragula, I was instantly obsessed as well. And Brandon might yell at me a little bit, but I make him watch it with me, and we sit down and he gets into it. He actually knows the queen's names, and he tells me his picks for like top 3, top 2.
Go Brandon.
And I fucking love it and stuff. Well, no, it's wicked. I mean, I think you can stream most of it on, is it Netflix or Amazon? It's on one of the streaming platforms.
Shudder.
Shudder. Okay, now it's on Shudder.
I think it was on Netflix though, because I think that's what we watched it on. I don't know if all the seasons were on there, but
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, it started on YouTube. That's how I saw it. I was I used to work for Spencer's, and one of my store managers at a Spencer's that I worked at was telling me about it, and that's how I found it, because she's like, this would be right up your alley if you like drag. And I just was mesmerized right off the rip, you know, because it's everything I love. It's horror, it's drag, it's cosplay all into one, and it just blows my mind.
it is fascinating. We kind of just like happened to see it one day and started watching, and then it's like when you start watching, like, oh my god, you can't stop. It's just like so much, you know, creative everything that it's like, oh my gosh, you know, just everything's so amazing to see, like all the looks and all the challenges and everything they do is like just mind-blowing. And everybody that has like their own specific style and has their own ideas for everything, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, like it's so inspirational.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's super cool that like it's 2022 and there's a huge platform in just mainstream media for drag now. You know, it's so much more widely accepted than it used to be. But it was even cool for me to see the underground of drag, which is what I would consider Dragula to be. Because, you know, there's a cookie cutter sense of what a drag queen is. And then you see these people on the show like Dragula, and they're not that, you know, they're right. Completely different. And so I don't know, that in itself too drew me to it, because I'm not one to, you know, conform or whatever. So seeing that there was something that was even more obscure within the thing that I liked that was obscure in the first place, it just drew me in like a moth to a flame, you know?
No, 100%. Now, typically, a lot of drag performers will lip sync, but we all know that you are a very talented vocalist.
Thank
When
you.
you perform in drag, do you do live vocals? Do you do a mixture? Kind of what's your act like a little bit?
So I currently actually do not perform live in drag. Most of it is just looks. But when I do start to locally perform here, it's going to be probably lip syncs,
Okay.
because that's kind of what you do to make money as a drag queen. But I think it would be really cool at some point to mix my music in with my drag and do live performances as well, because there are tons of drag queens that do. My favorite's Trixie Mattel. I don't know if you know who that is, but
Yeah.
yeah, she does, which funny enough that I even like it, but she does like folk country music live and she tap dances too. So you can
That's
definitely
awesome.
do live singing with drag too. So I think I'll step my foot in the door with lip syncing and then see where it can go from there. But eventually I'd love to live sing, you know.
Talking about live singing, you performed the past two camp stools with your partner Dean, and how did that come about for you guys to decide to perform together?
So we have been together on and off for about 12 years, and when we met, he was on tour, and I was actually rap battling someone in the parking lot of this show that it was like a Boondock show that he was on tour with. And he was like, "What the hell is this little person doing rap battling somebody, you know?" And I watched him and I was like blown away by the way he has so much energy on stage. And at the time, he was a hype man for Miss Kisa.
Okay.
And that's how we started talking. I was just like, "You were so cool on stage." And he was like, "You were so cool rapping in the parking lot." And then we just organically became friends. And over time, a couple and all of that. And he's like, "Look, you have musical talent. I have musical talent. I need somebody on stage with me. Let's do it." And it worked out. We have really, really good chemistry in life and on stage. And I just really enjoy his music anyway. So it worked out.
No, I have to definitely say, I mean, you can definitely see when you guys perform up there how the chemistry and how comfortable you guys are together and you're comfortable with your stage presence. So I was only able to catch a bit of your set at this past camp, but what I was able to see, you guys just absolutely killed it. And you can see when someone doesn't feel in place, like they don't feel comfortable up there, you know, or it's kind of awkward or new. You guys just came out and just owned it. Just owned it. It was really impressive to see.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of
Camp
fun.
Zool was the first time that I actually got to see, you know, you guys perform together, because I think Camp Zool, the first Camp Zool, when they had the second stage outside, I didn't get to catch it, but I was actually blown away, you know, by the chemistry that you guys had together and just how you guys worked together. It was, I don't know, it was mind blowing to me. I absolutely loved it.
I appreciate that. We just have fun at the end of the day, you know. It's like the nerves set in right before we go on, and we're having our little huddle before we hit the stage and everything. But once we get out there together, we just have fun, and it's like I'm just here with the person, you know, and everything else just fades away, and we just have fun. And I think that's why it looks the way that it does, because the comfortability between us, it's just always there, no matter where we are.
You guys complement each other very well.
Thank you.
Yeah, we saw you guys for the first time at the first Camp Zool, and we had never heard of Dean or you, and we were sitting in there at second stage watching you guys, and I had seen you before you went on stage, but I didn't know who you guys were. And then when we saw you, we were like, oh my gosh, you know, come home, and we're watching all the YouTube videos of the performances, and we watched your performances over and over and over, and like our kids love it, and it's just, you know, the music, and then seeing you guys together performing, it's really cool. It gives me like such a nostalgic Halloween vibe too.
And I definitely think, yes, we are very much those type of people.
Yeah.
But we have this vision, I think, that's a little different than what else you'd see in this scene, you know. what we're trying to go for, I think, is more like what you would see at a theme park, like the side performances, with the theatrics and all that stuff. That is what our end goal is. Not to be at theme parks, but to have that same feel. That is a full show, not just a musical performance.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, the full production on there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do have a question from Laura, and it's one we did have on the docket, but we'll go ahead and jump to it because it does fall in the stream of what we're talking about. You've teased that you have an upcoming single coming out at some time here. So when can we expect to hear that?
So in December, my birthday is December 8th. So I'm trying to drop an EP around the time of my birthday, with a single dropping slightly before it with a music video. The EP will be called Rotten, and it's just a self-titled 6-track EP. And I'm very excited to get back into solo music. I actually did solo music like a decade ago, by another name it wasn't great. We'll just say that. But what it is now is completely different. I know who I am now. I'm not a kid anymore. And I found my sound, and I'm very, very excited to release it. And I'm excited to have something to show this community from a femme perspective, because we don't have any like big femme artists in our scene other than, Razakel, HB the Grizzly, but not at Camp Zool.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for it because it's just completely different than anything that's out right now. And I hope it's received well. It's kind of a goth pop vibe.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I hope people dig it. I really do. But it'll be December.
Awesome.
I'm sure they will. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm really stoked. Dean's been a huge help too.
Yeah. One thing Scotty did shout out to was your karaoke was fire as well at Camp Zool.
The funny thing about that is I do not remember singing at all.
Oh, no.
I was, I'm sure most of us were, I was heavily drinking, and I said to Dylan, "Oh, there's karaoke. I'm gonna go sing." And that's the last thing I remember really saying. And then he's like, "You sang?" I'm like, "I did." And then, Leah posted the picture, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I did sing."
It happened.
Great. I remember it.
It was good. It was good too.
It was.
Cool. Yeah, I was probably very inebriated.
So with your EP dropping, can we expect some Lolli Rotten merch with that as well?
Oh yeah. I've got lots of ideas for merch. As you know, the ongoing joke is that I'm the daddy. So we're gonna have Lolli Rotten as my daddy t-shirts, and some other designs that are just like based on some of my drag looks, and possibly some charms as well.
Awesome.
Yes, so I'm really excited about that. That'll drop with the EP.
Hopefully that'll be out in time for us to be able to get those for Xmas.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yes, it should be. Like I said, very beginning of December will be when the EP comes out for pre-order. And then everyone should get it in time before Christmas.
Awesome.
Dean is saying daddy calendar.
Oh, okay. We have also made a joke.
That would be the best.
So,
12 different looks all compiled into a calendar. That would be like the best thing.
So the joke with that is like not to, I mean, whatever, spoiler alert, because I may not even do it, but so the cover it'd be me, whatever you think it's going to be, some like cool, sexy looks or whatever, but it's just me in drag doing dad things for each month. So like one month I might be barbecuing, another one I might be mowing the lawn, like doing dad things.
I would so buy that.
If it did, I would do.
That would be so awesome. That would be awesome. It would totally sell for sure.
Yeah. You definitely have a market for that, and that's really clever.
Mm-hmm.
And talking of, I'm going to try to share my screen so we can show some of our viewers your looks.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And let me just make sure this is. I'm very high tech, people. You know, this is what we do right here at the Dead Bitches Brunch. But I'm going to pull down here just a little bit because one look I want to highlight in particular is.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my god, that is like life right there.
I have the bra right here. It's kind of messed up from wear and tear, but I'll still show you. So this is the guy. It's flaked some just because for me this was very much a just like figure it out as I go type of situation. And so as you see, a lot of the paint has flaked. Just because I wasn't aware that painting on top of latex was a bad idea. But this is the guy. The
and
skirt
that's your own face as well, right?
Say what?
That was your own face that you cast and you used on there.
It is. So I'm friends with Corwin that owns Nightmares Gate Haunted House out of Atlanta. And I talked to him about it. I was like, look, I really want to make a human flesh like outfit. And I want to use my face for it to make a bra. And he was like, oh, well, we can cast your face. Just come over. So I went over there with him, and in his basement, he's got this huge studio. And between he, myself, Jean, and my friend Elena, who's also just an insane makeup artist, we cast my face, and it was this whole plaster thing. And I just had my nose holes, and I had to keep it on for like a full 20 minutes. And I'm claustrophobic. And it was a lot, but it was worth it. It was totally worth it because I still have the mold. Yeah. So at any point, I can still continue to keep pouring cases as much as I want to. Yeah. And that was my first time ever doing something like that. And people like mask makers, your man, I had my hands up because that is difficult. It was a lot of trial and error, for sure.
Yeah. No, it definitely is, but I think you did a killer job, and that's so cool that you still have that mold because there's so many things that you can do. I mean, you could do an armature of your face if you wanted, and with latex on it, and then you do a percent sealant. You could even practice like different looks on your fake face.
That's
right. Putting them on yourself or stands. Like ideas, opportunities are endless if you have the mold.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love to do that. My first big drag look ever was a face bra. I have it right here as well. I'll show you.
Okay.
It's way down on my Instagram. I made baby face bra. And it's just from like the thrift store.
Yeah.
That I just put on it, and that was the first one. And then I had made a pumpkin bra. And then from there I was like, all right, human faces come next, you know.
That is
I don't know.
cool.
Just happened to be my thing, I guess, over time.
Before I had even actually met you, like I said, seeing you guys at camp and everything, I was already intrigued with your look and your style. And I wasn't friends with you on social media at the time, but I kept seeing that photo of your face dress and the bra getting shared around. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was just jaw dropping, like the coolest thing.
I think we actually talked about that dress on our very first episode.
You did. I can't remember. Somebody had sent it to me. One of y'all had sent it to me and said, hey, we featured you on our episode. And I thought it was just like the coolest thing ever. Like,
I absolutely love that dress.
Successful like look to date. I've never like gone viral or anything like that. And the amount of shares I got for that was just like mind blowing to me. Because to me, I mean, it was a craft project, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see that people really liked it and received it well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you could tell that you definitely put in the work for it. But I mean, as in all your looks, I mean, they're just so pristine. And I was already a fan of yours and impressed with you before meeting you at camp. But then getting to see you in camp, and it's like, okay, because I was like, maybe she photoshopped some of it, you know, because who is actually like that spot on? And I'm like, oh no. No, no. They're just like walking Instagram. Like, this
Dude,
is real life, people.
all the time because of that very reason. I feel like I don't look the same in person, but I guess I do, you know.
No.
I know. When I ran into you in the restroom at Camp Zool when you had your nun costume on, and I was like, oh my god! I said to you, I was like, I look like such a basic bitch compared to you. Every time I see you, it's just like.
See, but I know I had said this too. I envy the people that are able to just like if I could have the ability to actually just fucking put on like not that you do wear beautiful makeup. But if I could be the kind of person that could roll out of bed, put on some mascara and a t-shirt and be comfortable enough to go out that way, I wish I could. But I have been wearing heavy makeup since I was like 12, you know, when I got really into the goth thing. And now it's almost like it has to be this uniform that I put on to go face the world. I'm not able to just be barefaced unless I'm just going to the grocery store, you know, whatever. But I wish that I could. I wish that I could. I do appreciate the art form in itself, but I do wish that I was a little more comfortable with myself without it as well. For sure.
Yeah.
How long on average does it take for you to go from you yourself regular to completely, you know, done up in drag or, you know, a regular like what you have on today? Like how long did that take you?
About an hour and 20 minutes for today.
Okay.
This was what I would consider to be quick drag. But stuff like the face outfit and all that, well, no, I didn't do very elaborate makeup for that. But if it was like a very elaborate makeup, it can be up to 3 hours, depending on what it is. I usually allot myself around 3 hours if it's a big event, just because things go wrong, you know, draw the eyeliner wrong and then you got to wipe it off or whatever it is. But if I'm doing a look like this, it's something I've done before and I know about an hour, a little over an hour.
Okay.
Wow.
I am going to post up on here this nun look that we referred to earlier.
I love that picture. Dylan took it.
It was so epic.
Thank you.
And Brandon kept on telling me, he's like, they are the only person scarier than me at this place. Looked so wicked, so wicked. It was done so well, and I'm not exaggerating, people. Like Lolli would show up to camp, you know, 11 or 1, whatever the opening time was. No one knew what time it started. But whatever that was, and then you'd see Lolli walking around at 3, 2 a.m. I'm like, how? Girl! Like, I lost 20 things once.
Yeah, what kind of setting spray was that?
Yeah, it was like, I'm like, well, yeah, whatever. Yeah, what settings did you use?
May Ron Final Set is one of my favorite ones. I think that's what it's called. Final Set. It kind of smells like Listerine. I'm not going to lie to you. Like it has a tingle when you spray it on, but it's a really, really good setting spray. It makes a full barrier. Actually, I think it's called barrier spray. Okay. Makes a full barrier. And then another like hack or like poor person setting spray is what I would call it, or like is hairspray, which is not the greatest for your skin, but it's I learned that through theater because I grew up doing theater. And hairspray will help with sweat a lot and holds makeup in place. So I use usually a combination of setting spray, and then at the very end I'll throw some hairspray on my face if I know I'm going to be in heat. So, and that holds it on pretty well. But like I said, I do wear a lot of makeup, as you see. And I think that's part of it. I make almost a whole nother face with makeup. So that is a huge part of it. And I also don't tend to have very oily skin or anything like that. I think that helps. A lot of powder as well. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I was surprised that it lasted the way it did because like Catch Me at the Gathering, it's not the same.
So what kind of makeup remover do you use?
Makeup remover. Okay, so several kinds. I use I may have it here, I may not. In the other room. Okay, so what is it called? Maybe it's Jergens. It's the old cream makeup remover that's like a lotion that breaks makeup down. When I do heavy makeup, I'll use that. And if I don't have that, straight up coconut oil or olive oil to break everything down. Because it's hard to just wipe it off as is, especially with a lot of it being like waterproof eyeliner and things like that. So I'll use something that's got like an oil base and just wipe everything, and it just becomes one gray mush all over my face. And then from there, I will wash my face just like with the regular cleanser, any cleanser, and then go back in with micellar water, and then go back in again with witch hazel to make sure I get everything off, and then my moisturizer. So it's just like, it's kind of like a process of taking it off in layers when it's this thick, you know. But oil-based, anything to break down makeup, like if you're at a friend's house and you need to take your makeup off, grab some olive oil out of their cabinet, girl, like, and it'll break it off.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have another question. What about, because I know you do the false lashes, how do you get the eyelash glue off of your actual eyelashes without ripping them all off? Because I will have like balls of eyelash glue stuck to my eyelashes for like days.
Eye makeup remover, oil-based eye makeup removers helps a lot, but I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have the best lashes because of just years of wearing false ones. I have eyelashes out plenty of times because I don't just use a little bit of glue on my lash strips. I glob it to make sure it's going to stay. Sometimes I'll even put the glue on my lid and then on the lash as well to make sure it's going to stay. Because like my worst fear is having a lash that's just flapping around while I'm talking to people.
Right.
But yeah, oil-based eye makeup removers really helps with that.
Okay.
And just a plain empty spoolie where you can kind of just brush out the clumps. That helps a lot.
Another oil that's good to use, girls, is castor oil. So it looks like I'm doing a commercial, but I'm not. Because it's a natural oil that stimulates hair growth. So when I'm trying to get those extra clumps of stuff out of my eyelashes, I'll use castor oil because then it's also nourishing it at the same time. And like it's like super cheap for the bottles on Amazon. Like I've had this one probably like 3 years ago. It lasts really.
I will only be getting some of that.
It's a good one to have on hand.
Because my actual eyelashes are no good. I just wear so much makeup, I think is why. But yeah, I just don't have great eyelashes normally. So
it's hair is a struggle, you know. Everybody's struggling with their hair at some part on their body. So you know, it's judgment.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No.
I wear so much fake hair, like because my hair sucks. But yeah, this is a wig. If you can't tell, you can probably tell.
Well, I honestly, I was like kind of wondering about it, but I'm like, it looks good though. Yeah. I love it with the crown.
Thank you.
I'll take you a little bit of turn from beauty and makeup. What was it that when you mentioned kind of on here, you started like working, you were introduced to drag at a very young age and stuff. What was your introduction to horror and, you know, the wicked scene and the macabre, and what about it just made it something that you fell in love with and is still rocking to this day?
So my introduction to horror was as a child. You guys probably know, some people who are watching horror extra young might not, but Blockbuster, every single weekend, my dad would take my brother and I to Blockbuster and let us pick out a movie. And he did not censor us. He let us pick out anything we wanted. And the very first horror movie that I ever saw was Silence of the Lambs. And because it was just because I liked the cover, you know, but I was 5, I think.
Damn.
And I knew I was going to be scared of it. He knew I was going to be scared of it, but he's like, if you want it, get it. Okay. And so that was my introduction to horror. And did it scare me? Absolutely. But it thrilled me at the same time. And that's what I liked, the chase of the adrenaline. And then also as a child, we used to go to a haunted house that was in town. I didn't move to Georgia until I was 6. This was in Glenville, New York, upstate. And there were these people that we knew that had a business with a big garden and everything. And every year they would turn their greenhouse into a haunt. And so that was my first haunted house experience. And again, I was probably around 5. And that was when I really fell in love with horror, because I saw these people that I knew like on a daily basis that I was so familiar with turn into these monsters. And I wanted to know how they did it, because as a child, you don't know what makeup is. You don't know any of that.
Mhm.
And I just like, what is this? And that is when I fell in love with horror for sure. And then from there, I just had to see every horror movie that I could get my hands on. And I wanted to know everything about makeup. I started wearing makeup very young. And I had to know everything. And so ever since then, it's just been an obsession, honestly. And I just had to get all of it and had to make myself into one of those monsters,
What's one of the top films that you find yourself going back and watching?
Okay, Halloween, the original Halloween. Also, Critters, I really love just because I think they're adorable. Gremlins, again, I find myself having an affinity towards any monsters that are cute, for sure. Let's see. And it's the Scream franchise is probably my favorite. 90s slashers are my heart, for sure. I have an obsession with true crime as well. So any movie where there's just like some horrific killer that is chasing and killing, that's my bag, for sure. The Scream franchise, I think, is probably my favorite of all.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I never thought of Gremlins being like a horror movie, but I absolutely love Gremlins.
I feel it's a horror movie. If you're a kid and you're watching Gremlins, that's a horror movie.
That movie made me not want my Furby anymore. So
yeah. So Furbies themselves are a horror movie.
Yeah, that is accurate. That is true.
Terrifying.
It's like, even though they're cute, if you think about yourself in that actual scenario, that's pretty fucking creepy,
As a kid, Gremlins to me was scary.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know, but it's one of those things that we watch every year around Christmas just cause. But yeah, for sure, the Scream franchise is my favorite for sure.
Did you like the new Scream movie?
Say what?
Did you like the new Scream?
I did. There was, I don't want to give any spoilers. There were some things in it that I wish, or there are things that were not in it that I wish were, characters, people that were not in it that I wish were. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge Lillard stan, so I was very disappointed in that. And I felt it was like slightly predictable, but I feel like that's kind of the best thing about those type of movies is the predictability. It feels safe when you're watching it. You have fun when you're watching it because it's like you're in on it. You're in on the secret. So I like about it, and I have no complaints other than missing somebody that I wanted to see. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it was everything I wanted it to be. Mm-hmm. It had the camp, it had the horror, it had the gore, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah, it had some really good kill scenes in it. I will have to say, I was excited. That was what I was most excited about.
Yeah, definitely. I also, speaking on like remakes or whatever, or sequels, I don't know what you call it, a remake or a sequel, but the Evil Dead remake was one of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's because they went back and used practical effects. That is one of my favorite things in the horror genre, when people decide to actually use practical effects, because it feels real. I feel like anytime there's CGI in something, you can just tell. You can see it. When it's practical effects, it's like it just makes it so much more real. And that's what I really enjoyed about that remake or sequel, whatever you call it.
Yeah. The thing that stands out to me from that movie was always like the raining blood. That was like just something that I always thought was like the coolest thing.
Yes, and it was real. And that's what I thought was the coolest part about it. It was real, like not real blood, but the fact they put that actress through hell, like drag queens are superheroes. So are final girls.
Yeah.
Because they fucking kill it in these movies. I don't know if I can cuss on this. They kill it in these movies. They really, people don't realize the kind of things that these actresses go through for films like this. And I just think that is so cool in itself too.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Oh, for sure. For sure. What's kind of taking a turn on here. When did you start performing with music? Like what age did that kind of come about for you?
So I did my first show ever at 16, like as an artist. But I have been performing since I was a small child. And like local talent shows. I used to dance a long time ago. I did hip hop and jazz as a kid. And then even before that, it was for my family with a hairbrush as a microphone, singing in front of my fireplace. I just always wanted to be in front of people singing, dancing, something. So as a kid, my first real show, I was 17, and it was at the Masquerade here in Atlanta, in a group that I used to be in way back in the day called the Lunatics, which doesn't even exist anymore. But it was like a juggalo rap group of like 6 people, and we had our little show there. And then from there, I just stuck with it, and I wanted to keep doing music.
Who do you kind of look up to, or who's like motivating you or inspiring you right now musically?
Right now, definitely artists like Ashniko, Youngblood, even a little bit of Doja Cat, maybe. But growing up, for sure, Amy Lee. Amy Lee is probably my biggest inspiration of all. That woman is like my idol, my hero. And I've watched her stage show. I've seen her once live, but I've watched her stage shows like religiously since I was, young. And I think that I actually take a little bit from her like movement style and things like that on stage, just because she's just like, to me, she can do no wrong, Currently, Ashniko, I think, is a huge artist in my repertoire, like people that I constantly watch, constantly listen to. I think that they are a powerhouse in the scene. They are speaking on subjects that need to be said. They are showing women that it's okay to stand up for yourself, and that it's okay to be proud of our bodies. It's okay to be open about our sexuality. And we haven't seen a lot of that, So Ashniko, for sure. For sure.
That kind of hits on something that I wanted to bring up when we did get to chat a little bit at camp. I'm not sure how much you remember of our conversation or not, because then you went up and sang karaoke. So now I'm like, she may not even remember talking to me.
I remember talking to you, but yeah, I was drunk.
But something that we had talked about was the importance of bringing different exposures to different platforms and different artists and different creators in this underground and this world community. Because unless you're pretty much a white guy with a beard and a belly, it's a little bit more socially acceptable for them to walk around all dressed in black with a shirt with a skeleton or forever face on it, or people are like, oh yeah, that's metal, that's kind of thing. If you're a woman, or if you're queer, or if you're anything else other than that, it's like you're the outcast of the outcasts within this community. And even though it's filled with a lot of love and a lot of amazing people, it's also filled with a lot of people that be shocked at, have a very traditional sense of view of where women should be at in this community, where queer people have a place at in this community. And the fact of the matter is everybody has a place in this community. And it's artists like yourself that is putting it out there and standing up and saying, hey, I am a part of this community too. This is who I am. And that is so incredibly brave in my eyes, to say that, because you're making a stand about yourself. You're making a stand for others, and you're not required to be that flag bearer, to be that person to say, hey guys, we need to look at some of these things a little bit differently here. I don't know where I'm going with this here, but I just want to say I have a lot of respect for you for doing that, and I'm just always impressed that you have that vulnerability and you put yourself out there that way. Um, and just in such an activism kind of way, and being passionate about your truth.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to fall in the fold. It's easy to fall back and be like, oh, I'm just going to be here in the background. I'm just going to support this person. And to make that stand and to put yourself out there, that takes a lot of guts.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I spent a really long time hating myself. And I think that is because I didn't understand who I was or want to accept who I was, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like one day it finally clicked that literally we're all hitting dirt one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can be whoever I want to be, and nobody can tell me otherwise. And once I finally clicked that into my brain and was like, yeah, bitch, be who you be, then that stopped being scared. Because at the end of the day, I pay my bills. They don't. You know what I mean? I sleep in my bed with myself at night. They don't. So it doesn't matter. And if I could ever change anybody's mind just by having a conversation, then that in itself is like the most beautiful thing to me. But if I can't, it's also not my job. But I will willingly always have a conversation with somebody, especially if there's someone on the opposite side that doesn't agree with me, because I think that is what life is about, individuality. And if we can teach each other, then that's what matters. And if we can't, okay, at least we tried.
Yeah. Yeah. We can all come from a place of love and respect and wanting to learn and wanting to be better. And some of us may not understand it. Maybe we're not there yet. It might be something new. Everybody comes from different walks of life. And I mean, as exposed as everybody is to different subcultures and genres and stuff like that, there are still people who are very, very sheltered. I mean, I'm almost 35, and I never even held a guy's hand until I was 24 years old. Like, that's how sheltered I was. I didn't know what the internet was for like a long time, people. So, like, way past the time I should have understand what it was. And I just think it's important for us to all, also remember too that, you might think like, oh, you should know already. It's 2022. Like, you should be with the times. It's like, there are some people that are crawling out of a hole. Like, we're doing the best we can, like waving the white flag, like, hey, I just found this lane, trying to figure it out. So yeah, it's important to have those conversations and to be open and accept and stuff to people and just be like, it's okay to be different. And it's okay to be the different person of the different people.
Right. Black sheep or the black sheep. I will preach it till I die. That's the lane where I love to live.
And I just want to say you're just so confident with where you stand. But you have such a respectable demeanor about it. It's like, you're teaching too. And that's just so respectable, like you're not expecting everybody to feel a certain way or, know certain things, but you're, the way that you put it out there, it's like you're helping people understand too. And, gaining respect with that.
I appreciate that. I really do. I have my moment, I can be aggressive sometimes, but the aggression I think comes out of passion. And when I realize I've been that way, I'll take a step back and say, maybe I should have gone a different route with that. And because people are going to understand love way more than they're going to understand anger. And when I sit there and realize that's when I am able to have conversations with people and possibly change their mind. When I can say, hey, this person's just a person like me. They just think differently. And as much as I preach on the things that I believe in, I will also sit and listen to someone for hours preach on what they believe in, even if it's something that I don't, just because that's what life is about. It's just having those conversations with other people and learning as much as possible. And that's all I want to do till the day I die. I call myself an evolving eclectic for a reason. I'm always going to change my mind based on my absorption. There's the word. Absorption of knowledge. We all start somewhere.
Right.
You
But
know,
I'm very
one of the
people that
things
do.
though that I love about you the most is that you're passionate, but you're so respectful about your passion. You
Thank
know,
you.
you have the ability to share that passion, even if it may get elevated, you know, in a sense of like maybe a possible heated conversation. You're so passionate about it, and respectful, you know, of other people. And that's just one thing I absolutely love about you. I love being able to have conversations with you about things like that because you're respectful no matter what.
Thank you. And that comes from probably how I was raised at the end of the day, but also just that I'm always going to treat other people around me how I wish that they would treat me. I'm going to be respectful regardless. Now, obviously, we all know in situations where disrespect is dealt towards me or towards somebody I care about, we handle it in the way that we need to. You know, I or Dean or anyone that is close to me, we'll handle it the way we need to. But it's always gonna come out of a place of love, no matter what.
Right.
But yeah, I'm like real deep into this wine, y'all. This is
Oh.
juice. This is juice to me.
Okay, so somebody in the comments said, "Who keeps pouring the wine?" And I thought it was me, but maybe it was you.
It's me.
So I have to show you guys my bottle of wine also.
Ooh, here.
I love that. The Velvet Devil.
It's not the best wine I've ever tasted, but the bottle is the best. So
Cove and Cove Strawberry Moscato. You probably can't see it, but
right.
Ooh.
like 6%. I didn't know that when I bought it. 0.5%.
Just finish it off. R.I.P.
Like,
Right.
this is juice to me. But yeah, I have that, and I have this. I was telling you earlier, Vizzy seltzer.
Oh,
I haven't. Let me give it a taste, but yeah, it's pretty good. This one's mango watermelon, but yeah, this wine is nothing to me.
So I have to ask because I've wanted to ask you this before and I never did. How do you get your teeth like that?
Oh, this is. I'll show you.
I want purple.
Mayron tooth enamel.
Do they
Tooth
have
effect.
purple?
They might. I have black and red, and it's just a paint.
You just
So
paint
what
it
I
up on there?
I'm pardon?
You just paint it on there?
Yes. What I will do is take pieces of your teeth have to be dry, so I'll take pieces of paper towel and roll them, and then I shove them up under my gums on the top and on the bottom in my lip. So I look crazy. I look like this when I'm doing it. I'll dry off my teeth, and then I paint it on. This is 2 layers, and then you just let it dry. I use hand fans, so I'll just paint it on there, and then my hand fan until it's dry, and then you take out the paper towels, and then there it is, and it stays very well through eating. Sometimes it comes off, but to get it off, you just brush your teeth. It's basically like a nail polish for your teeth.
And
So
Okay,
do
fancy.
they sell other colors other than black and red? Because I would assume like those would be the most common ones people look for.
They do. I don't believe they're Mayron. I think there's another brand that sells all colors of the rainbow. Especially when that weird rapper, something 6ix9ine, whatever the hell his name is, with the rainbow teeth.
Okay.
They started selling tooth paints from there, and it's another brand that I can't think of the name of. I just really like Mayron, so I stick with them. But they do, I believe, have every color in the rainbow.
Okay.
I need purple.
So I have another question. This is something I was thinking about earlier before we got off the subject of looks. But do you like plan your looks, like accessories and outfits and everything? Like take like Polaroids of them or like write it down or something?
So depending on what it is, if it's something that I'm like creating from scratch, like the face bra kind of thing, I will draw sketches out of what I'm going to do and like make a full like almost like a mood board type thing. But if it's something like today, I wing it. Like if I'm like, all right, I just want to do some makeup, I'll just throw it on. But if it's a look for, or like the nun look for camp, I had a nun outfit and I was like, okay, what am I gonna do with this? So then I planned, okay, I look and see what pieces I already have. I had the collar that I made, and then I had the nun outfit. I bought a new habit for it because I didn't have one of those. And then I was like, all right, it needs blood, obviously. So I just kind of decide, I look at what I have and say, what can I make out of this? And then I plan it from there. But if it's a big look, yes, I'm going to draw it out and make a full chart and all that shit for it.
Oh my
like,
gosh. Okay.
Like if you were designing clothing, I'll sketch out the whole thing. And then as far as makeup goes, I usually start on like Pinterest, scrolling makeup inspiration, and Instagram, scrolling makeup inspiration until I get some ideas on what I'm going to do. And then I'll draw a face chart out if it's a new look.
Wow. Okay. That's inspirational. Like I sometimes I'll lay in bed and think like, oh, this would look cute with that. Like definitely nothing as immaculate as your style or your outfits or anything. But I think I'm just gonna start like when I start thinking about outfits, I'm just gonna say, what would Lolli Rotten do? And then maybe that will help me.
We need that on a bracelet. What would Lolli do?
What would Lolli do?
What would Daddy do?
What would Daddy do?
There
Hey.
you go.
Yeah, it's usually just I'll come up with whatever the concept is. Like, okay, for this I want to do like a toxic apocalyptic whatever is the idea, like just for an example. And then I'll go, okay, what do I own that applies to this? And then I will pull out pieces, try some things on, and then from there say, what can I make out of what I already have? And then what do I need to buy? And so on and so forth. But if it's a big look, like I said, it's a drawn out process, and I'll draw it out.
How big is your closet?
I mean, I can show y'all. I'm in my makeup room now. I can show you. It is. I will say it is a cluster F. It's like 1/3 Dean's office, 2/3 my makeup room. I have this rack here. This is some of my stuff, like more of my like statement pieces type of thing. And then I have this closet as well, which is more of my like everyday wear. And then I have a dresser or chest of drawers. I don't know what y'all call it where you live. It has like leggings and fishnets. But the main stuff is this, and then I'll build off of shit like that. And then I also have, this has like accessories. So like belts, chains, harnesses, things like that.
So it's highly organized. That's good.
To where I understand it. Not to understand. I'll tell Dean, like, all right, top drawer of the small pink dresser, you find me this harness with this chain, and he's like, what? I'm like, trying to do it's organized to where I understand it, but if anyone else came in here, they probably would be like, what is this?
Right. As long as you understand it, that's what counts.
Right. Yeah. What about you guys?
My closet's like in an evolving transition and stuff because I was a little goody before my demon clown found me and showed me like, hey, there's this other stuff and it's a lot cooler than what we're doing. And I'm like, oh, okay. No, I'm in this weird transition phase. I'm terrible. I love buying t-shirts. But I'm also now like you're a big person. Okay, I need a little bit more sexy. Okay, like I can get some cool, like wicked, creative, outfit ideas or something other than just my regular t-shirt and leggings. So I'm evolving slowly. But makeup, you can kind of see my vanity in the background a lot. That's probably why I have the most, because I did start wearing makeup pretty young. I think I want to say it was around 9 or something that I started playing with makeup and stuff. And I was really thankful that my mom let me do that because since I was so sheltered, I had very few friends, and the few friends I did were all years older than me. And so when they started to be able to play and wear makeup, my mom didn't want me to feel left out. So she was like, yeah, you start playing with it and experimenting with it and stuff. And some people would be like, oh, well, she's 9 and they're 13. And my mom's like, so they're her friends. She should be able to fit in with her friends and do what her friends are doing and stuff. And thankfully, like I said, I didn't even know what the internet was. So there's no photographic evidence of those 9-year-old makeup days.
I'll have to show you pictures of some of the first makeup that I've done. Oh.
Yeah.
I started with makeup probably around 9 or 10 myself. I was lucky enough to grow up with parents that were just so accepting and awesome about me expressing myself. They never, ever pulled the plug on that or tried to stop me. As long as I didn't get in trouble, I was always allowed to do what I wanted.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they were really cool. Like my mom, I think my mom bought me my first pair of trip pants when I was like 10, from Hot Topic. And I had very, very great parents growing up, and I'm lucky in that. I would not be this without them,
Yeah, just
I have an addiction to t-shirts. That's my issue. I think I have like my entire closet is I've run out of hangers.
Same.
Is my issue. Like I probably have 140 t-shirts, if not more.
Sounds like Dean's got his own closet, and it's overflowing. Constantly get rid of clothes though as I get new ones. I'll sell pieces that I just never wear because there's been plenty of things that I've bought and maybe worn once or twice, and then it just sits there. So when I get new pieces, I'm constantly going back through and saying, okay, what is something that I haven't worn in 6 months to a year? If I haven't worn it, I'm not going to. So I sell it.
Yeah.
So you're not a hoarder.
Slightly. I'm an organized hoarder. We'll say that.
That's how I consider myself too.
I hoard clothes and makeup for sure, but I try really hard to get rid of things that I don't wear or use.
Yeah, it's good to clean it out and have the space on there. Well, everybody, we are coming up. We're actually over an hour here. It doesn't even feel like it's been that long. It's been so awesome getting to know and talk to you, Lolli, and I'm so excited for what you have coming out. And if you want to debut anything or come back on when you're ready to promote more of that stuff closer to that time, just let us know. You're a dead bitch forever to us. So I'll always welcome back. But before we call it here, folks, I do want to bring up something here that, let's see here, that Dean and Lolli are doing that is going to a good cause. And so let me, again, folks, just it's so high tech.
Technology.
So let's see here. Is my mouse working? Can you guys see it on here? Whoops.
We could for a second.
You guys could for a second? Okay. Let me get this here going. I had it, and sorry, Dean, I'm just scrolling through your Facebook on a live show. Dean, why not? If you haven't already, folks. All right, and then let's see here. There we go. Lolli, is that the right one?
So it's going to be his drop for his collab with the Super Famous Fun Time guys. And it's not just this, I will say, from here on throughout the rest of the year. With this, I believe it's 50% is going into an account we are starting under my name, where throughout the year, starting with this merch drop and including bits from the rest of the year, we will be putting money into the account to keep things like Plan B available for anybody who needs it, no questions asked, as well as sending women on camping trips to other states if they need that. So please feel free to ever hit me up if you're in need, or hit Dean up if you're in need. We will help you to the best of our ability. You have my word on that. We will not tell anybody your situation. We will never speak your name if you don't want us to. It doesn't matter. All we're going to say is, hey, a portion of these funds are going to someone. That's as far as that will go, so that people know that their money is going somewhere where it's needed. It's something I'm not going to get too deep into, but this is a situation that I am extremely passionate about, and so is Dean. We've been through some things before where we understand what someone might be going through, and it is your right to choose what you do with your body. And I will not let anyone take that away from you if I can help it. So that's what's going on with that. We will keep a fund available for anyone who needs help. And that's that.
So there you go, folks. You heard it here. Check out, it's going to coming out on July 1st, armyoftheheartless.com. Get yourself some awesome swag, support an amazing artist out there on the scene, and also a portion of that is going to a really good cause. That's very important, as we addressed at the top of the show here. So
yeah, thank you guys for doing that. Honestly, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. So everybody, that's a wrap on Dead Bitches Brunch for today. Lolli, thank you so much for coming and kicking it with us tonight. We appreciate it, what you're doing. We're so excited to see what you have coming in the future. And thank you very much to my two wonderful co-hosts, Leah Pettibone and Moon Doggy, helping me hold it down here at the Dead Bitches Brunch. Everybody, next week we aren't going to have a new episode. It's 4th of July weekend. This country or not, if we want to, but if you have time to spend with those you love and care about, do that. It's important to be around the people that matter in our lives right now. So we love y'all. We appreciate everybody. Stay wicked. Stay dead.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much.